If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, listen up. CarShield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that covers more parts than ever. Visit carshield.com/audio to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Get your free quote today at carshield.com/audio. That's carshield.com/audio.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Feresten. Now, here's Spike.
The rare Sunday evening cigar here in my backyard in Brentwood. Jonny Lieberman is here.
Now this is podcasting.
This is podcast. This is a relaxing Sunday afternoon podcast after we missed a couple of weekend nights to get us all together. Zuckerman will call in with a real insurance story for our sponsor. Policy Genius, also sponsoring CollectingCars.com. And Manscaped! That's my feigned excitement.
I'm excited.
I just got back from the Malibu Cars and Coffee.
How was it?
Thank you for asking. It was interesting as usual. It's so funny. They've now decided, and this is all from Bill, by the way. That's my source on this inside information. So it's, who knows if any of it's true. But they believe that the people who come to the car show at Malibu, at the Malibu Country Mart, are the same people causing every accident and all the trouble on the PCH.
You can tell all the cars are all dented, right?
Every accident is because of us and Leno and anybody, Matt Fair and anybody else who shows up. It's not true. And they've decided now they're going to close down the lots until 11 o'clock. Except they don't. And it's funny. I went out there this morning. Jay texted me Saturday night, hey, I'll be out there. He brought his P1, which is nice. I said, I'll meet you at 10. I have this Aston Martin DBX that Galpin Aston Martin has loaned me for the week. It's a delightful vehicle. We'll chat about it in a second. But I thought, and I also had the Ducati Scrambler Night Shift, named after the Commodore song. And I was like, well, maybe I should take the motorcycle because all the lots are going to be closed. And they said, well, let's see what happens. So I take this big red DBX out, and I go around the back. The entire lot on the back side is wide open with spots. It's so weird.
Just in front of Bill's, they put the barricades.
The lot in front of Whole Foods has guys with M16s standing out there. Bill's is half open, half closed, with cars blocking it like some sort of Nigerian embassy under siege,
right.
in and out.
It's like Idi Amin's headquarters.
Yes. Yeah. The biggest parking lot closest to Bill's opens right at 10. Just opens, everybody goes in. All the cars are waiting. So the car show just begins at 10 o'clock. And I went in behind them, and a moment later, Jay showed up, and then the lot opened for him, and everything was the same. So it was nice. We had a nice time. It just things get going between 10 and 11 now, and this it's really a futile attempt at this point because see they're not organized. They have like a lot in common, like with America's vaccine strategy and how people feel about vaccines. Nobody's together here.
Right.
They're all doing different things.
Hannity's suddenly for the car show.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody
been against it.
The city wants to shut us down, but everybody's completely divided, and some people aren't even paying attention. So anyway, if you're coming this way, I met a nice couple from Iowa who said hello. Big fans of yours and Zuckerman's cool. and mine, and a lot of cool cars out there. I had this Aston Martin DBX, which I want to talk to you about. Have you driven this car?
Yeah. I brought it by. I had like a purple one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was good. The only problem was mine was on all-season tires, and I took it up Angeles Crest to try and, go 10/10 for no reason whatsoever, and it was like, I thought it would be better. Then I got out and looked at the tires.
That's why Nathan was joking about all-season tires.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Nathan being the representative from Aston Martin.
Yeah. And I said, why on earth would you put a car in Southern California on all seasons? And he goes, it's a mistake the prep company made. We got a flat. They didn't have 4 summaries. They had 4 all seasons, so it went on the all seasons. But they're going to get me the car back with summers at some point. But somehow this is the busiest summer of my entire life, so I have no time for anything.
So when I noticed that word "summies" on Instagram.
Summy.
They're talking about summer tires.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was a thing, but I was doing Farrah's show, and we were talking about the Aston, and I said, yeah, it wasn't on summies, and him and Zach reacted as if I had said, like, some very dirty word. They were like making fun of me.
Well, it sounds like gummies, like a weed thing, and I thought it was a weird inside joke.
It is, but it's blown up, and now everyone is calling summer tires summies. So
not me. I'm not going to do that.
Starting now.
But I'm glad you explained it. I think between you and I, and you came over in an interesting SUV. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
we can take this thing apart because I'm sure you did more in this than I did. And let me just set the table. And you can tell me how much of this SUV that I know that I'm right about and that I'm not, and we can chat about it because there was a lot of interest in it. A lot of folks. It's red. I can't remember what they called this.
Gorgeous color, by the way. There's red, and then there's that red.
Scarpula. Somewhere there's writing in front of it. Oh, here it is. Scorpus, like porpoise red. Scorpus red.
Like a stinging dolphin. Scorpus.
And this is Aston Martin's first attempt at an SUV, right? Yep. They're looking over their shoulder at Bentley. They're looking at Lamborghini. They're looking at Porsche.
The whole industry. I mean, everybody except for McLaren is doing an SUV. Yeah.
So they decided to design something new from the ground up, correct? Right. And, here it is, the Aston Martin DBX, which I think it's a cool-looking thing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And it's hard to make SUVs look good because they all kind of look like jelly beans.
Yeah. And there's a lot wrong with it.
Sure.
And there's a lot right with it at the same time. Is that in line with what you think?
That's fair.
I want to talk about some of the things.
Yeah, what do you think is right with it?
Yeah, let's start there because there is. Yeah. When I think of SUVs this size, immediately I was thinking about the Maserati, what is it? The
Levante.
The Levante. The Jaguar F-Pace.
It's a little bigger than the F-Pace, but yeah.
And then you got this deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel bigger inside when you sit down, but you're right. It is a little bigger.
Bit, yeah.
And then
it's the size of like the Mercedes GLE and the X5. It's that size.
Right. And here's some stats on this guy. 4-liter twin-turbo V8, right? Same as the Vantage in the DB11, 542 horsepower.
So it's a little more powerful than the Vantage is like 502.
503, right?
Yeah.
6 drive modes, of which you really only need a couple.
So you didn't go off-roading?
GT individual no, and by the way, I had no problem with the drive modes either. They have on this little press packet thing here the positioning, the best of both worlds. That the DBS closest competitors are the Bentley Bentayga and the Lamborghini Ureta. Both on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Bentayga is a more mature, traditional, restrained idea of luxury and refinement. The Urus, a bit more adolescent, and conspicuous, and all-out performance-oriented choice. And the DBX fits squarely in the middle. Slightly skewed towards the performance side, as one would expect, but very much the best of both worlds. Now, kind of.
Yeah, I'm kind of shaking my head because I agree that it's much more desirable than the Bentayga,
right?
Which looks like a dying fish.
Now they put their 0 to 60 here 4.3, but I think Car and Driver, I don't know what you guys got, was 3.9.
Yeah, right around there, 3.9, 4.0.
And price point is about the same. The Urus being 218, so the sticker's 176.9 on the DBX, the Bentayga 177, and then the Urus 218.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this. For a
second. So I agree that it does beat the Bentayga at the British luxury SUV game. The problem is everybody who hasn't driven an Urus underestimates the Urus, and the Urus, as we now know, is fantastic. Right? It's just like it's actually not that. It is very sporty, but it's also like a wonderful luxury car.
Right.
So that's the only thing.
Well, here's what they got right, and I think it's fair to say that. I'm happy they're building this, and I think it's a really cool idea, and I love Aston Martin. I love this brand, and the James Bond Association is fun. The cars are a little more difficult to drive, but they are attractive to me, and I do like them, and I got excited about driving this. And the driving, the hardest part. The driving experience of this car is there, right?
Yeah.
SUV, truck, whatever you want to call it. I really enjoyed taking it on Sunset this morning, a little faster than I should. There was no one on the road, and it really handled well, and it really drove well, and it made a nice sound, and then I could turn off that nice sound as I was going through the Palisades, and I didn't want to attract attention or be obnoxious to folks. And then out in the PCH, again, enough acceleration, not breathtaking, but enough to make the whole thing fun. Cornering, it felt lovely. Like, I know it's got an electronic battery system in there. That works really well. I loved it. I thought it worked.
What don't you like?
Here are my problems with it. Yeah. And it's easily fixed, okay? It feels cramped inside. If ever there was something that was ergonomically designed, this I would call fergonomically designed, and the F stands for the swear word F.
Right.
It's nothing in it is right. I had to pull over 2 or 3 times in the first day just to try to get things to work, right?
Can I stop you there for a sec? Are you familiar? Do you drive a lot of Aston Martin?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This I thought was far more complicated.
Okay.
And buttons are crammed all over the place. For example, there's a speed limiter button right on your left hand that you hit by mistake.
Yeah.
Why are any of us pitting? Why do we need the speed limiter? I hit it by mistake, and suddenly I'm stuck at 12 miles an hour going, what just happened?
That's a British thing, because McLarens do that too. Like, you think you're putting the nose up, and you accidentally peg it at 25.
I understand, but...
Yeah. No, I hate it. They're terrible.
Here's the world we live in, Aston Martin, and you should understand this, and all the other car manufacturers should understand this. Go drive a Model Y, and look at the lack of everything in that cockpit when you're looking around. And now you hand me this with 1,000 lights and buttons and all this information I just don't want. And guess what? I can't play the Beatles this morning because, while I have CarPlay, thank you for adding that, I don't have the option to have a screen I can touch. So it is the equivalent of having an iPhone that I control with a mouse. Would anybody else like to do that? No.
All right,
they would not like to do that. 2, the drive button location above that pretty screen. I am now reaching. So when I'm backing out of a spot, I hit reverse. Okay, fine. I hit the paddle. That's not going to put it in drive. I got to reach up.
So what Spike is talking about is...
Yes. Go ahead.
If you lived in England and you drove on the right side of the car, then the drive button would be right there, and reverse would be on the other side.
No, it's not even that. The buttons are in the wrong place. I would rather have these buttons right down by my thigh.
No, but they would just... So if anyone hasn't been in an Aston, the park, reverse, neutral, drive, they go across the dash. So drive is easiest for the passenger. But you
misunderstand. Those buttons are too close to the windshield. They're too high in the middle. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's an Aston thing. But again, that drive button would be on your side of the car.
It's not about the drive button. I hear you on that. I just think those... I would take everything that is down by my hand, throw it away, and put the drive buttons right there.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would engage the car when I hit the paddle, and it knows I want to go forward. So, it was little things like that. Infotainment, it's all Mercedes old stuff.
Yep.
Got to update it. You got to make it intuitive. You got to make it easy. I would say throw out 90% of all your buttons everywhere. Just throw them away. I don't want any of that stuff on my steering wheel. I don't need any of that stuff there. Clean everything up. And then I would also say that cabin, it's nice, but the whole feeling of this SUV still felt a little cramped and small. When I think about the Lamborghini Urus, I wanted to hate that thing.
Yeah, everyone wants to hate it, but it's so good.
I wanted to hate it. I don't like the name. You know how I feel about Lamborghini people. Yet I drove 3 of them, and each time it got better and better. And I went, oh no.
No, it's so good.
But it feels substantial. It's fast. It's fun. But it has an ease of use that this SUV needs. And I want to encourage Aston Martin to keep going. Because I like the way this drives. But you need to do some work on that ease of use.
So it sounds like your biggest gripe to me is the old Mercedes electronics, which they kind of had to do something, and they're getting the engine and transmission from Mercedes, so they got the electronics.
Ergonomics. Nothing is where you reach for it.
They are updating
Your window
that.
buttons are back like this. I almost pulled a muscle, my old man muscle, when I had to reach back to lower my window. Correct?
Yeah, so
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're I don't know. I can't address the windows, but the infotainment stuff is getting updated. They have a new system coming. Tobias is from Mercedes. He knows what to do.
Cool.
So that's all getting fixed.
How was it at speed? You drove it at speed.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
I wanted
good.
to know.
Sadly, I drove it on all-season tires, so like the last couple tenths weren't there. But overall, yeah, it's a balanced, powerful, great all-wheel drive system. It's the Mercedes 9-speed transmission and all-wheel drive system, so it's really, really good.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
AMG
right?
system. Yeah, it's really good. Engine's phenomenal. I love that engine. The problem is, they're comparing it to the Urus. The Urus just comes with 100 more horsepower for once you option it up, the same money. So it needs a little more power. Everything needs a little more power. But no, I think it's a great first effort in an SUV. And again, unlike the Bentayga and unlike the Cayenne Turbo, which is its other real competitor, it's good looking. Those are just ugly.
Lots of looks.
Yeah.
And I had it in that bright red. Lots of love. Lots of fans of this brand, and everybody's kind of rooting for this. So that would be the headline of my review. We're rooting for you. Keep going. It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would drive it if you fix those things.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just that's the problem Aston is having right now. Like, you look at the Vantage, it's phenomenal. The only problem with it is the 911's better. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the Vantage. It's just for like the same-ish money.
Look what happens to these car manufacturers when they get their SUVs right.
Yeah.
That becomes the number one seller, and it carries the whole company. The company explodes, so get it right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Olympics, Euros, baseball. Major championships and concerts are all in this summer. You know what isn't? A wild and hairy bush. I'm looking at one right on Jonny Lieberman's face. Tame your pubes. You have pubes on your face. With help from our friends at Manscaped. Guess what? Look at this, Johnny. This is
presenting
all
me
for you.
Ooh,
Manscaped shirt.
The Weed Whacker.
The Weed Whacker. And look at this.
Thank you. What is that?
Open this up. It's
Oh
all
my
for
gosh.
you. Compliments of Manscaped.
We're doing an unboxing show that no one can see.
Their 4th generation performance package, which Johnny is getting right new.
Oh my gosh.
Has the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their bodies like royalty, why not treat your pubes like an Olympic gold? Why not treat Johnny's beard like Olympic gold? Do right by your balls, Johnny, and join the 2 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped by going to manscaped.com with the code SPIKE911. What's in there? What's in that goodie box?
The crop mop, the crop cleanser, the foot duster, refined cologne, and the plow 2.0.
Wow, it's a nice gift. Open it up there. Look.
Yeah, no, this is
in
great.
there. I think one of those. There it is. That's the device.
What is this?
So that's the Lawnmower 4.0 with the light on it to get into your crevices with a plastic blade that isn't going to hurt you.
Okay, so
isn't that cool?
You're not going to nick your sack for lack of any terms. That's finally.
It's all good stuff.
Hey man, thank you.
Enjoy it tonight.
Thank you, Manscaper.
Tell your wife when she gets upset it's my fault. And if you at home want to experience the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. The 4th generation trimmer. Every generation gets better with skin-safe technology. Go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPIKE911. My name, my favorite car at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping with the code SPIKE911 at manscaped.com. There you go. They say achieve pubic glory this year. They
I don't know if I'm going to achieve that, but thank you very much.
Really go.
Well,
finally, thank you for Manscaped.
Yeah.
We got to get Zuckerman in now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's so nice.
I like cuts on my balls.
When are you guys going to call me so I can do real insurance stories? We're going to do real insurance stories in a minute with Zuckerman, but he's such a pain in the ass this weekend, and he wouldn't come out to Brentwood. So
yeah, that's odd. He probably owns like 4 houses right down the street.
This is why there are so many hosts of this podcast, because like today, I go, oh, geez, we don't have a show. Hey, where is everybody? You thought we were doing when? Last night or tonight?
I thought we were on Tuesday, whenever we talked about it, you guys had said Friday. I said, I can't do Friday. I'm locked into something. But let's do Sunday at Baldwin Hills.
Yes.
And then today, at noon, I was like, hey, right, so Sunday, Baldwin Hills. And we were both like, no.
Yeah, it's hard because the Sunday energy, I'm sure everybody feels the Sunday energy. It's all right. I know it's Wednesday when you're listening to us. I'm happy. I'm relaxed. Thank you for coming out here to do it. But
again, your backyard for smoking cigars and
nice,
podcasting
right?
it's hard to beat. I mean, yeah, it really is.
We have a nice place to smoke back here and talk about cars. You drove a pretty amazing thing that I didn't know you were bringing. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
The new Ford Bronco.
The new Bronco is
Actual
in my driveway.
Bronco. It's sitting in your driveway.
That was pretty exciting when you pulled in.
Yeah, you looked excited.
I said, Jack, come out of the bathroom. Why? He was in the bathroom. I go, open the window, but come out of the bathroom. The new Bronco's here. But I think I was more excited than he was.
You were. Well, he's quiet. He's young. He's quiet.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting. It's finally here after all the delays and all the speculation in this, and I've been driving it for a week. And how do I put it? It's two things. It is cheap on the one hand, and it is a lot of fun on the other. And
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just there's
when you say cheap,
what do you mean price? I mean they made some material.
What is the price
decisions.
of the truck that you're driving today?
Okay, there's no easy answer. So this is the Outer Banks trim. So there's 7 different Broncos you can get, and this one's right in the middle. It's the 4th of 7. Okay. So it starts for the 4-door starts at like 42,000 something. This one with options is 52,000. It's a 4-door hardtop. It's the twin turbo V6 with an automatic. You can't get the V6 with a manual, and I didn't drive it, but Bossum had the...
when you say Bossum
Wassef, he's a writer for Motor Trend and
right.
Car and Driver and everybody. But
he's
I ran
got an old
into him
Land Rover, too.
What's that?
He's got an old Series 2A Land Rover.
He does.
Yes, he does.
But I ran into him with a 2-door Outer Banks with the 4-cylinder, and he was like, it's so slow, you can't believe it. He drove this one. He's like, this is the engine to get. Forget about the manual. You want the V6. So just to break everyone's heart.
Did you off-road it?
Yes, we did. It's super fun because Outer Banks is like the Wrangler Sahara, so it's like the more on-road. So you don't get the big crazy tires on it. It has more street tires. So we found like dirt. And what's cool about the Bronco is you can lock the rear diff when you're in 2-wheel drive. So you can now, for 2021, you can do that on a Wrangler, but only on the Rubicon. If you have any other Wrangler, you have to go into 4 low to lock the rear diff, so you can't like slide around in the dirt. This one you could just goof off rooster tails, donuts, drifting, and it's a ton of fun. It's also a ton of fun on Angeles Crest. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it understeers terminally until it oversteers on the way out of a corner.
Right.
But like there was a dude in a 911 SC and I just sat on his bumper all the way up Angeles Crest.
Wow.
So you've got 911 SC performance.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's cool. Again, there's just some of the interior. It's kind of a bummer how flimsy some of it is.
Yeah, you showed me some of it.
Yeah, and you know,
I don't know that I wonder if I'm caring about that though. The way I would use this truck. You know?
I don't think you are. It's just what's odd though is like they you know, this thing benchmarks the Wrangler. It's within 2 inches of the Wrangler in every dimension: wheelbase, length, height, width, every 2 inches, right? So, like on the Wrangler, the grab handle for the passenger, you could use that as a tow hook. You could tow it's so solid. This just you can move the things around. It's just cheap. There's some other things I didn't show you, and then Ford said, okay, what are problems that the Wrangler has? Right? Okay, the doors come off, but they're heavy because they have frames for the windows. So if we do this thing where they're frameless doors, so if you put the glass into the door, they're much lighter and easier to carry once you've taken them off. But because there's no frame, like the glass flops around a little bit when you're shutting in. And just, you know, for a $52,000 vehicle, it's a little disconcerting, whereas a Wrangler feels tough, you know. So I would say it's like, and again, like the Wrangler on road, it like shimmies and shudders and judders. This doesn't. It rides very well, but the roof is the wind noise is insane. At 80 miles an hour, it sounds like you're in a rainstorm. It's just crazy. So it's like, it's a competitor to the Wrangler. It's not better than the Wrangler. And I think a lot of people...
Interesting. I thought it was going to blow the Wrangler out of the water.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people did. And also what I've noticed is I have a lot of friends that saw the pictures of it on Instagram, and they're like, ooh, I ordered one. And I'm like, you know, and I'm talking to them like, did you ever want to drive a Wrangler? No. I have no interest in that at all. I want the Bronco. I'm like, but it's the same thing. Like, their price is the same, the performance is the same, the off-road capability is the same, they're the same size. Why aren't you interested in the Wrangler? And I think people are just hyped about the Bronco.
Because it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does look great from the front. I mean, it does look great on the outside.
It's good looking, yeah. It's good.
When you stare right at it, eye to eye, it's beautiful.
It is, but we had a Wrangler out there in the desert, and like the Wrangler's cool looking too. There's nothing wrong with a Wrangler. Yeah, so
but we've seen it
for 75 plus years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. No, familiarity breeds I don't know,
contempt.
Not contempt, but just ambivalence. It's so, but it's very fun, and I think these type of things, they should be super fun. And it is. So I think they accomplished that.
Are they going to make special editions?
They already have one out. They have the first edition, and it's sold out. And yeah, I mean, there's all. I mean, we could do the whole show on the Bronco, but the coolest thing they did, it's called the Sasquatch package.
Right.
So if you get that, you get the big 35-inch off-road tires. You get locking front diff. You get a different transfer case. You get big fat fenders, and you can get that on every single Bronco. So from the base model, which is $28,000 to start, up to the Wild Track, which is like about $60,000 to start, you can order Sasquatch. So it's great because you can get a real competent off-roader without spending a ton of money. Whereas with like the Wrangler, you really got to go to Rubicon to get the real off-roader, and that starts at like $53,000. So that's the coolest thing Ford did.
I would love to have a car with the word Sasquatch on it.
Yeah. Just make sure you put a man groomer in there. Manscraper. What is it called? Manscaper? Man groomer?
Manscaper.
Weed whacker. You need a weed whacker in your Sasquatch.
Manscaped.
Manscaped.
Our friends at Manscaped.
Yeah. But it's cool.
Well, that's a lot to process. I'm going through a lot of that in my head right now.
Overall, very good. It's not the knockout punch to Wrangler that I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, assumed it would be.
So. Yeah.
And it's a competitor. Like again, like this drives better on like the freeway, except that it's so noisy, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Whereas like the Wrangler shakes, but it's quieter. So
when I took that Bronco Sport up on Gorman, I was flying on trails, right, bumpy trails, and that suspension was just absorbing those bumps, right? And we were going faster than we were driving in the Defender, the new Land Rover Defender, on a similar terrain. And I thought the Bronco really absorbed those punches a lot better. Just
the little Sport is super good, but I'll give you another funny one.
But you're saying it doesn't drive like that, or is that just because the Bronco Sport's like a beginner's 4x4?
No, the Bronco Sport's just better than it has to be, whereas this, so again, because this is the Outer Banks, it doesn't have the off-road dampers, so there's these Bilstein dampers that come with the Sasquatch package.
Right.
Which are way better. So, like like on dirt roads, they don't pave them, but they clean them up with like a bulldozer. So you get those little tiny washboard things. Mm-hmm. This is horrible over those little tiny imperfections, like really bad. It shudders like crazy, and I think it's because they tuned the Outer Banks to be such a good on-road vehicle. It rock crawls just fine, but it's like the ride on like what you're talking about, what you did with the Sport. It's terrible in the Outer Banks, which is just weird, whereas a Wrangler's fine on that kind of stuff, but the Wrangler's terrible on smooth pavement.
Got it.
So it's just weird, it's like, and again, there's 7 versions of it with the Sasquatch package, so there's like really 14 different trucks to analyze and play with. So it's interesting, but they're just getting started.
What would you choose?
I would take a Jeep 392.
That's what you would choose.
Yeah,
look at how quickly you said that.
That's the SUV I've been dreaming about my entire life. That's it.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, I'm going to buy one. Yeah, I'm not really. They're sold out this year. I got to wait till 22. I'm really not waiting.
You're connected, can't you?
Oh no, yeah.
Can't you get one even if they're sold out?
Well, I could sell my little Ford for like $5,000 over what I paid for it because of how crazy used cars are right now. So yeah, I'm definitely doing it.
The market's still nuts, huh?
Oh my God.
Well, if you need a car, you know where you need to go to. CollectingCars.com. CollectingCars.com, one of our other favorite sponsors. They have a U.S. auction right now live waiting for bids on a Porsche 918 Spyder Weissach hybrid hypercar that ends Sunday, August 1. Options, liquid, metal, silver.
$60,000 paint.
$63,000. Authentic Onyx black. This car is beautiful. It really is beautiful. Front axle lift for $10,500, which you will need. You got to have that front axle lift, especially in this neighborhood. Electric comfort, heating, the whole deal. That's an amazing car, and that bidding is still open. They also have Porsche 991 GT2 RS Weissach package, which is my favorite deal. The Weissach package, of
Phenomenal
course.
car.
Yeah, the carbon fiber all over the place. Black with black leather Alcantara interior package in black, platinum gray stitching. Wow, only 2,253 miles. I really missed that car. I had a Chuck one. Maybe I'll have another one. That auction's ending Sunday, August 1st, and they also have a Ferrari 360 Spider, which ends tomorrow. Blue Tour de France paintwork and Sabia leather upholstery with optional contrast seat piping. I hope I said that better. Collectingcars.com and watch collecting. You know they sell watches too.
Yeah,
these guys are going to own the world in a minute. You can see what they're up to.
It's funny.
Why sell your supercar anywhere else? No ordinary auction, no ordinary cars. Yeah, they have a plan for world domination.
They do. But what's funny though, it's funny you did the 918 and then the GT2 RS, because it's like the 918 is phenomenal. It's a hypercar. It's this, that, and the other. The GT2 RS is quicker. It's better to drive. It's faster on a track. Like it's such a good car. You know,
I have driven both, and you were right. But I have not owned a 918.
Yeah, well,
and they do look super cool, and they blow blue flame out the exhaust pipes at night. And it's got that electric, 11 miles, 9 miles, however many miles you can charge up and use. And that's useful. That is a really useful little thing for keeping quiet when you're coming home or taking a phone call.
And that's the new thing. I mean, all the Ferraris are doing it. The new McLaren hybrid's going to do it. And it's smart because in places like London, you know, pretty soon you won't be able to turn on a gasoline engine in the city. So you're going to have a car that like has 10 miles of electric range to get you out of London,
right,
or Paris or wherever. So it's a smart thing.
Are you going up to Pebble?
I am. I'm going up to Pebble.
So you're now committed.
I'm fully in. I'm committed.
Wow. I wish I had a horn sound effect to play right now. Dun, 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 because we're still all on the fence. When are you going to be up there?
I think I'm going to arrive Thursday.
Okay. And where would folks see you? What events are you going to be at?
I'm definitely Sunday. That's the reason I go. I actually like the lawn. I like to look at all the old stuff.
Are you going to wear a stupid suit?
Always. Yeah, I got my red pants all ready to go. Yeah, I got pink trousers, red trousers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What's the psychology there? Like,
we started doing it as a joke. So me, Angus McKenzie, and Jeff Day, who used to run Mercedes, like at this point, 9 years ago, we noticed a lot of guys wearing red pants.
Yep.
And so we made each other like a Tontaine kind of bet. Like, we all wear red pants next year, and if you don't, you owe the other guys $50. And I think I was the only guy that, maybe Angus did, but Jeff didn't wear red pants, and then he refused to pay us. But
so I've been going to that event. I think the first time I went was during Seinfeld. So what is that, 1997? And I noticed the funky looking suits. There's some people dressed in the blue blazer, the tan chino, and the white. The judge.
Yeah.
That's the Swiggins and Peabody look.
Yeah.
Just that's what they wear every day to Starbucks, and then they wear that here. Then there's the kind of wild guy outfit. What is that? You didn't start that. That's just
no. We observed it and then copied it.
Rodney Dangerfield golf pantsuit. What's the idea there? What?
It's like the
just fun.
It's fun. It's like the funny hats at the Kentucky Derby. It's just a weird nameless tradition that there's no rules to it. But like, my buddy Sergio has these amazing like bizarre paisley patterned trousers, for lack of a better term. And I'm like, I got to get a pair of those. I need to wear those, And it's just, I don't know, it's fun to dress up,
It is fun, yeah.
I dress like this. By the way, I'm wearing jeans and a T-shirt 364 days a year, so it's fun to like
I hear
peacock, once in a while.
Peacocking.
Yeah.
Well, as I get older and crest into elderly and transitioning to the afterlife, I do feel like it's fun to wear stupid stuff more.
Yeah, absolutely.
My old decrepit body, it's fun to festoon it with all manner of fabric and stupidity. Here's where I don't like it, though.
Oh.
When I see the picture of you on Instagram, I go, what's that? Why are you doing that?
Really?
Maybe don't get your picture taken.
People like to take my picture. I don't know. The part of me likes to dress up. Like my wife and I, we're members.
Everybody likes to dress up.
No, but like kind of slightly off. Like my wife and I are members of the Magic Castle. And you
are,
yeah, and you got to wear a suit and tie.
So the Magic Castle, being the Magicians Guild in the center of Hollywood,
Magicians Club, yeah,
right, right up there, right at Hollywood and Highland.
My wife used to perform there, actually.
She did.
She did.
What is that? What are you talking about?
My wife, she's now an attorney, but when she was not, she was a sideshow performer. So she was like a sword swallower.
She's a carny.
Carny. She'd pound nails up her nose. And
Really?
Yeah. And so we actually met because I saw a picture of her online standing in front of a wall at the Magic Castle. Yeah. And I don't ask. I have a lot of friends that are magicians. And I'm like, you're in the Peller Theater. Like, how you can't take pictures in there.
How can Jonny Lieberman have so many different dimensions? At this point, I'm just now hearing this.
Oh, I'm a complex man, Spike. I'm very complex.
So you marry this sword swallower.
Yes.
And then she says at some point, would you like to join our club?
No. I married a sword swallower, and then when she graduated law school as a present, I got her a membership to the Magic Castle.
So now, okay, I see. So now you're members.
Yes.
What does that entitle you to?
We can just go whenever we want.
Do they make you put stickers on your cameras when you go in?
No.
Okay.
You just have,
So when they go there,
yeah,
they're just doing magic tricks at night for tourists, and then you get a special members table?
No. You can go and eat dinner. They've revamped the menu. The food's actually pretty good. I mean, by the way, since COVID, we haven't been.
I like this idea.
Yeah. But
I'll ditch the Soho House membership and go to this.
It's way better. Yeah.
It's way better.
It's way better.
Yeah.
And it's fun. There's it's one building. There's, I think, there's 7 different bars. You can have a good time. And then there's all different types of magic. They have big, Vegas-style illusion shows where they're sawing people in half. They have close-up magic where they have a little table. There's 6 people sit there, and this guy, pulls quarters out of orifices.
Will your wife turn and tell you, I know how he does that?
No, she actually is so into magic, she doesn't want to know. So she's just continually mesmerized. Whereas, again, I have a lot of friends that are magicians, and I've actually helped out. So I sort of, I'm looking. I'm trying to figure it out. So I know,
I know
do some
tricks
of the
yourself?
Tricks. I know a couple, but I'm not good. I'm not good. But I can do a one-handed shuffle. I can shuffle a deck of cards with one hand. Wow. That's my best trick.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a show from there. That could be interesting.
I could probably arrange that.
Magic on a podcast is really... Okay, now he's cutting the cards.
Yeah.
Now, surprise! You're going to be really surprised. That's my
out
card.
Of his neck.
Yeah, that's my card. He's absolutely. I remember David Blaine visited us on set at Seinfeld, and Michael Richards, who plays Kramer, was in cahoots with him, right? So we walked down to set for rehearsal, and Julia and Jason and Jerry came running up to us and said, this David Blaine guy, he's supernatural. Something's wrong. We got to get him out of here. And then Michael came running up, terrified. He goes, he just made a fucking tiger appear in my dressing room. A fucking tiger! He goes, we got to get him out of here. And David Blaine's walking around, and they wouldn't stop for a couple hours, and forgive me if I'm misremembering it, Julia and Jason, but they believed this guy was the Antichrist, and Michael was goading them on with, guess what he did to me, guess what he did to me. And we were going, well, what did he do? He levitated. He was off the ground. He was off the ground, guys. They're telling all the writers, and 3 out of the 4 Seinfeld cast believed this person was not human, that he had something going on. And I don't remember when Michael finally came clean and said, "No, I made that stuff up."
That's great.
He didn't but it was a scary couple of days on set for us.
Great.
That's how good David Blaine was,
I've
and
done
it was
that.
fun, and it was super fun. But they believed it,
Yeah.
and you're in. I think about it all the time because they're in a supernatural world anyways, right? So there's helicopters over. It's the end of this show that they've all been a part of that is iconic, and the whole world's attention is focused on it at that moment, and everything that happens in their life is supernatural. Here, have a car,
right,
$30 million. You know what I mean? And there's a tiger in my dressing. You believe everything because so many things are happening.
Right.
But it was fun. I mean, it was really fun. We were going back and laughing, going, I can't believe these adults. They don't understand that there are no deities on Earth.
Right. Well, on
it
a
was
much
cool.
smaller scale, I've been the secret magician's assistant. So it's if a friend of mine is performing will say, hey, when I flash this card,
right,
do something, or
right.
if I get in trouble, I'm gonna need you to. So I've done that a few times, and it's kind of fun.
So
you're in on the bit.
Yeah, you're in on the bit. Anyway, back to Pebble. Yeah, I think we might go. I'm still in that zone.
Yeah.
Can you believe it this late? One of the listeners said, I know you don't have a place to stay. We have a room that you're going to have. It's Carmel Valley Inn.
Nice.
One for you, one for Zuckerman. $2,000 a night, 5-night commitment. I said, well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's
I'd
the problem.
love to spend $10,000 to go up there for 48 hours.
That's the problem, right?
But I'm not. But is it? I mean, as things get complicated here again, do you think this event is going to go on as is? We don't. It's hard to say, right?
I think it's just it didn't happen last year, and I think that blew a lot of people's minds because it's the attendees are like the masters of the universe, right? Mm-hmm. They really are. Like they own all the Bugattis, like
right.
There's
No,
450
I know.
Veyrons. All the owners are having a picnic, right?
Yeah, and we're having there's a bunch of 917s up there this year.
Yeah,
Jerry's 917 is going to be up there.
Yeah,
I was going to host a 917 panel, but it's too late to get everybody in.
Yeah,
sorry.
So I think it's going to happen, and what's nice is because Monterey has it's some crazy stat. It's the lowest August temperature in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
So the weather's great, so you can do most things outside.
Yeah,
because even though it's August, it's like it'll be 68 degrees.
Well, this is fun. I mean, there's so many Saturday nights and Friday nights. I would go, oh, there's that guy Jonny Lieberman. There's Jonny Lieberman walking in with his beard, and you're like, hello, and you'd be very drunk and. I was looking forward to smoking a cigar with you this time.
I know.
As a fellow SCR person, which makes me want to go. If we're there, we'll be at Spanish Bay.
Yes.
Friday night, Saturday night.
That's where we really hung out the first time.
Smoking cigars.
It was great. Remember I had Jerry's car, his old weird Mercedes.
Oh, that's right.
With the oatmeal and blueberry
from the
interior.
Mercedes Classic Center. Yeah. That was almost my car. That's the one time Jerry yelled at me. I scraped the registration sticker off.
Yeah, that was the first time I met Jerry. When he looks at me, he's like, "Are you Lieberman?" And I was like, "Are you?"
He knows everybody.
No, it was look for me to hear Jerry Seinfeld say, "Are you Lieberman?" It was like a pretty big moment. You know what I mean? It was like, "Whoa, how did I get here?"
We're all just car nerds.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We are all just car nerds.
But
I do want to go up. I want to go up. I want to drive. I want to hang out. I want to go to Works. I want to go to Quail on Friday. I'd like to visit Gooding, Sotheby's. That's always a lot of fun.
Quail's the real trick this year.
It is?
It's sold out. I think the tickets
Not
were like
for us.
1,500.
Yeah, they're not different packages.
Yeah,
we've all been invited. I can help you with that.
Yeah, I think I'm actually sadly so busy on Friday I can't go. But I was trying to get tickets for a friend, and I got in touch with the people, and they're like, "Well, we have this special thing we do, which is like it's for rich people who wait till the last minute, and it's $3,000 a ticket, and half of it's tax deductible."
Oh, that's not so bad.
Well, the rich person came back and said, "No, that's too much."
It is an awesome event, though.
It is amazing. It used to be my favorite, but it's just so crowded.
Plenty to eat.
Sometimes
it's no. I've never had a problem doing the two things I need to do at that place like that: eat and go to the bathroom.
The bathrooms
and
are great.
park. Sorry, 3 things.
Yeah.
You pull right in. You can go to the bathroom, eat, go back to the bathroom, get in your car, and go. It's great.
The shame this year is Infinity. They're not going, and so Infinity, they have this guy. I'm gonna name drop him, but Tony. Who he's like the genie. He'd like you'd be like, "Where's this cigar cutter?" And he'd like pop out of a drain pipe with a cigar cutter and a lighter. He's just like on the spot, and he would like bus us to the Quail, secret entrance, get us in, no parking. It was awesome. But
how do you get up there? Do you drive up or do you fly up?
I like to drive. So I'm driving. I usually go a little earlier than I'm going, and I like to actually stay Sunday night and then drive Monday.
Oh wow!
Drive home Monday. Just do a nice leisurely down the coast drive.
We usually do that on Sunday. We go to the event in the morning, and then right around 11 o'clock, take off. And then it's a rough afternoon. Right past Santa Barbara, you're kind of hurting a little bit if you're in an old car.
Yeah, well, that's why I like to do just Monday and just be real slow and just have all day to do it. So, but yeah, I'm excited. But you're right. I mean, with the Delta variant, I have no idea what's going to happen.
It's outside. Everybody's going to be fine outside.
Except for the dinners, which are inside.
The dinners are inside. Yeah, that's the only issue. Part of the fun is the big breakfast we all have together at either the Lodge or Spanish Bay, and that's going to be weird.
Everything's weird.
It's just weird, yeah. And I don't know if I want to bring that weirdness or just avoid the weirdness.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's time for Real Insurance Stories, sponsored by Policy Genius. Real insurance stories from Zuckerman. Zuckerman, are you there?
I got a good one for you. When I first started my practice, for a very short time, we were in an executive suite in Calabasas, out in the middle of nowhere. And we had no cases. We're back to the time when I had no cases at all. And a phone call came in to the receptionist where a guy was looking for a lawyer. Now, there were probably 10 different lawyers in this office. And this guy said that he had a case where he had purchased wormy fish at Costco. And nobody in the office knew who he was or why he was calling in. I said to the receptionist, give him to me. So I had this guy, I talked to him on the phone, and I had this guy come in, and he had a little sandwich baggie of this horrible wormy fish that he said that he had purchased at Costco. And I looked at it and I said, that's disgusting. And I signed a retainer agreement with him. He was my client. And I put the wormy fish in the freezer. And I was promptly screamed at the next day by the office manager. What in God's name is that? I said, it's evidence. Well, I got a lot of trouble for that. But I sent a letter to Costco saying that I represented this guy who got sick eating wormy fish. And they sent me a letter back saying that all of these matters had to go through a laboratory. They had closed a special bag with an envelope and all of this stuff where I had to send the sample to this lab. And I thought, what do they think? Who am I, their secretary? I'm not doing their work only to have this lab tell me I have no case. If they want to send it to a lab, they can do it themselves. So I took a letter. I wrote a letter saying, here's a piece of fish. You want to send it to a lab, send it yourself. And I put the fish in the envelope and I mailed it to him. And I got a hysterical call about 4 days later. What in God's name was I doing sending them fish in the mail? It went through their mail sorting machine and fouled everything up. And why didn't I send it to this lab? And I said, I don't work for you. You want it to go to a lab, you send it yourself. And they said, and I said, as long as we're talking, I'm going to send you a piece of your wormy fish every week until we resolve this. And they said, well, we don't sell wormy fish. I said, well, then it won't be a problem. So anyway, they said, fine, we'll give you 20 grand. Just don't send us any more wormy fish.
And that's why you need Policy Genius. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare home and auto insurance in one place. They help you find home and auto coverage similar to what you have, but at a lower price. They've saved their customers an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. Policy Genius is America's leading online insurance marketplace. Their mission is to help people get insurance right by making it easy for them to understand their options, compare quotes, and buy a policy all in one place. You need to go to policygenius.com, policygenius.com to get started right now. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Our friends at Policy Genius, they love Zuckerman's real insurance stories.
Everybody does.
Real stories from the front line of insurance. Yeah. It's interesting not having him here texting the whole show, isn't it? It's kind of relaxing.
I do miss, so what you don't see, because you're reading, is the second you start reading an ad, he literally...
I don't see it?
Well, no, his eyes, he morphs into like a 12-year-old, and he just starts looking at me like, I'm going to do something bad.
I know.
I'm going to fuck up Spike.
I am aware. Yes. But he's not really messing me up.
No.
It's the people who pay us to do this.
Yes.
So we can keep doing it,
yes,
right?
It's great. It's great. It's great.
By the way, I'm moving on Blue Chew. I am moving on Blue Chew.
I mean, you're chewing it right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I have had Audio Boom, who sells the advertising on our show and hosts our podcast, reach out to Blue Chew and offer all of us. I said the three of us will chew Blue Chew during the podcast.
Oh, God.
If you would just come back.
Oh, boy.
Some of the listeners were tweeting about it the other day, that they listen to the ads because they never know what's going to happen during the ads, which is true. And that anybody that leaves just doesn't deserve to be on the show. We would only like to have Blue Chew back.
Of course.
We think at this point it would be a good addition to the show, and we'll be the guinea pigs.
I don't know if I really want to chew Blue Chew with you two.
Zuckerman said, if things get overheated during the Blue Chew chewing, all I'd have to do is look to Lieberman. He's the antidote to Blue Chew. That's what he said in a quiet conversation last night over the phone.
Right. Well, I'm going to get a mirror and just hold it up into his face.
I know.
Talk about the antidote.
Yeah, any one of us is the antidote to Blue Chew.
That's true.
Well, that's we've had a nice little show, a nice little Sunday show. Is there anything else you'd like to chat about before we go?
I'm pretty good. The only other thing that was kind of car-y this week was I had that beautiful China blue G-Wagon for a little bit. I don't know if you saw that.
That was devastating.
It's a good-looking car.
I was driving, and I was at a red light, and I was looking down at Instagram, and I went, oh, God. Now, you had a green one before, and then I remembered this whole thing where I was emailing Mercedes, and they said, we're going to get that for you before it goes to the East Coast, and obviously it didn't happen. And I was remembering in that moment as I'm looking at your post going, oh, my God, a more beautiful one than the previous one.
Yeah. It's just so funny how appealing that car is. Like, I took it to, so we're smoking some tats right now. So Pete Johnson from Tatuaje was in town. I hung out with him Tuesday night and with some of his buddies, and they live in a nice gated community. And I parked it next to the guy's G-Wagon, and everyone came out to look at the China blue G-Wagon, and they're going crazy. And then my babysitter shows up. We went out Wednesday night, and she can't afford one, but she we answer the door. She goes, Johnny, that G-Wagon, it's everything. So it's just mass appeal. Like, and again,
it's an amazing color.
It's a design from the 70s. It's still in production.
But it's the paint.
Oh, the paint was great, and the black wheels. It was just great.
I was thinking about that today because it's been said you can't drive paint, but you can look at it. You can walk back to it and look at it and go, that's mine, and I love the way this thing looks. And it does enhance, color does enhance your driving pleasure.
Oh, 100%.
It does.
100%.
At least 10% for me.
Plus, with the G-Wagon, there's so many of them around here, it makes it easy to find yours because it's not black.
I had never seen that color.
No, it's great.
I'd seen the coffee color, and then I had seen that non-metallic green. You were driving it.
Yeah,
but it's spectacular.
Yeah. No, this China blue, it's just, as my babysitter said, it's everything.
What's going on with the infotainment? It doesn't have the same infotainment system that I have in this car.
No,
does it have a screen that I can touch finally?
No,
it doesn't.
No, it's the last Mercedes that doesn't have the MBUX. It's not a touchscreen yet.
Well,
I think
it's not ready for me.
The refresh is coming up, so it came out in 18, so the refresh is next year, and it'll probably have MBUX then. Probably.
And if you're angry that I demand this, it's because I find that when I'm trying to play with a cursor, I'm driving dangerously. And therefore, I'm not changing and switching to things, and that gets me angry. And that's why the touchscreen is helpful, because I can go Waze to Spotify, Spotify to Waze, to messages, listen very easily and very quickly without having to look down for long periods of time and watch a cursor, which I find to be a dangerous behavior. Yeah. Is there any other shortcut to that? Will can I ask the car to open up the app for me?
I don't think it even has the Hey Mercedes, because I think that's part of MBUX. Mm-hmm. So, I have a friend of mine who bought a G-Wagon. That was his bit. He was hesitant because he's like, I really like the touchscreen,
it's
and
a big deal.
You can't get it.
Yeah, and it's not about liking. It's just faster and safer and easier.
Yeah, and we're just so used to phones and touching. And
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think they haven't confirmed it, but I think in 22, that's the 4-year refresh, and I think it'll get MBUX, I think.
Well, there you go. MBUX sounds like a McDonald's kind of food stamp thing.
Well, MBUX is the actual name, but it's MBUX.
Well, that's our show, everybody. A nice, mellow Sunday Spikes Car Radio. That's all we have for you. I hope everybody's good. Next week, who knows what we have? Who knows? There's lots of options. I won't mention any of them, but there's some fun ones, there's some exciting ones, and then there's just the three of us, and who knows what's going to happen. It's kind of fun the way we're doing the show right now. Doing one a week. I used to bank tons of them and just kind of run them, and then we'd run out. But this is a lot more fun for me to do. Thank you for visiting Malibu and saying hi if you came out to say hello. If you're coming out this summer, stop by the Malibu Kitchen on Sunday at 10. And there'll be a lot of cool cars out there. And if not, follow me on Instagram. Leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts. And that's it.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to promote before we go?
No, follow me on Instagram too.
There you go. Yeah, we talk. We will talk to you.
And follow Zuckerman.
And follow Zuckerman, our beloved Zuckerman. He definitely will talk to you. We're on that app like teenage girls.
You may not like what he has to say to you.
No, sometimes people will engage like, hey, and then write a couple of pages about the car choice they have. I don't know that I'm going to spend much time helping you get your car, but if you want me to make a quick choice, I'll tell you what I would choose. Like that would be good. I would do that. I won't send you nude pictures of myself. Zuckerman will. He has no problem doing that.
Definitely nude something. Nude somebody.
Yeah, and any tips or any sort of, hey, I work for a car manufacturer and I heard something, that stuff's always welcome. We love that stuff. GT1 info. If you got some, send it our way. Magnus Walker, by the way, I saw him today, and Hannah out at the Malibu Kitchen. He thinks we're on to something.
Good.
He had no inside information, but he said, in his typical Magnus way, well, to return to Le Mans would mean the GT1 type car with homologation, and I think you got something there. I think it's going to happen. Sounds like it would happen. And I said, I agree with you, Magnus. I agree. And lots of others agree, but who knows? Who knows? You like that?
I've never heard anyone imitate Magnus, and it wasn't that
Really?
good. Not imitate him. But
What do you do, Spike?
But what I love about Magnus is his like he has more one-liners geared up than anybody.
Yes,
Everything.
he's like
weird.
Henny Youngman.
Yeah,
He's
he's this British dreadlock.
He must
Henny
spend a
Youngman.
lot of time like sitting and writing his car one-liners because he is the best at it for sure.
It's incredible, but yeah. So
and Hannah, his girlfriend who writes for Bloomberg, was like, well, tell me about this GT1. I go, look, okay, full stop. You're a journalist. I'm an idiot. I'm just hearing stuff. I'm going to say it. I haven't checked it. I don't know how to verify. I'm not a journalist. So nothing I'm saying to you is here's where I heard it. Here's some of the people I heard it from. Here's some other people. They're just strangers. All right?
Yeah.
We're just fun and games here in Spike's Car Radio. That's it. Fun and games.
Although we're breaking a lot of news.
But I know Porsche was very upset.
Between the Tesla and the Porsche, we're breaking some
I
major
know one of
news.
our sources was called in this week.
Oh, no.
And
Really?
read the riot.
Oh, shit.
So something's up.
Oh, that's good. That's confirmation. If
maybe.
there's no reaction, then you know it's not
But
true.
they have no immediate plans.
No immediate.
No immediate
No
plans.
immediate.
2025 is not immediate. No
That's right.
immediate plans. Anyway,
That's right.
We've taken up too much time. There's Gopher. The dog wants to come out and be fed. So we're going to end it right here. We'll see you guys next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.